Every marathon you've ever watched, every marathon anyone has ever run. 26 miles, 385 yards, that exact distance. That number exists because of where a queen wanted to sit, and because of what happened to the man who crossed the finish line first. This is the story of the 1908 London Olympics, the most chaotic, most controversial, and most important games ever held. The games that broke everything, and in breaking everything, invented the Olympics we know today. These games were never supposed to happen in London. Rome had won the bid. Then Vesuvius erupted in 1906, Naples was devastated, and Italy gave the Olympics back. London built White City Stadium in 10 months. 68,000 seats, the most advanced sporting venue on earth. Opening ceremony, July 13th. 22 nations parade before King Edward VII. Protocol: you dip your flag to the king as you pass. The American flag bearer was Ralph Rose, Irish-American, 6'5", 275 pounds. He did not dip the flag. His teammate Martin Sheridan allegedly said, "This flag dips to no earthly king." Tug of war was an Olympic sport. Britain entered 3 teams, all policemen. The Americans entered track and field athletes. First round, Liverpool Police versus the United States. The rules banned prepared boots with spikes or cleats. The Americans wore athletic shoes. The Liverpool Police wore their duty boots, heavy, steel-topped, metal-studded soles. The Americans were pulled over the line almost instantly. They protested. The British replied that these were standard issue boots, not specially prepared, and even offered to pull again barefoot. The Americans refused and withdrew. Britain took gold, silver and bronze. Tug of war disappeared after 1920. The City of London Police are still the reigning Olympic champions. And then there was the wax duel. Pistol dueling was an Olympic event. The target was a wax mannequin dressed like a man. Each competitor fired once. Judges examined the damage. The winner wasn't the most accurate shot. It was the man who inflicted the most lifelike wound. The event was never held again. The 400 metres final. One Briton, Wyndham Halswell, a Scottish Army officer, against 3 Americans. Runners took any path they wanted. American John Carpenter was leading. Halswell moved to pass. Carpenter drifted wider. Elbow out, he pushed Halswell to within inches of the edge. In America, blocking was legal. In Britain, whose rules governed these games, it was a foul. A British official broke the tape before anyone crossed. Race void. Carpenter disqualified. A rerun was ordered. American officials told their remaining runners not to compete. And so, Wyndham Halswell ran the Olympic final alone. 50 seconds around an empty track, the only walkover in Olympic history. He retired almost immediately. 7 years later, Captain Halswell was killed by a German sniper at the Battle of Neuve-Chapelle. He was 32. July 24th, the marathon. It started at Windsor Castle, so the royal children could watch, and finished at the Royal Box in White City. That route measured 26 miles, 385 yards, an arbitrary distance, chosen for where the Queen wanted to sit. Every marathon since has followed it. 55 men started. It was unseasonably hot. Runners collapsed throughout. The favourite dropped at 16 miles. In the final miles, a 22-year-old Italian pastry chef named Dorando Pietri surged into the lead. 75,000 people waited in White City. The roar when Pietri entered the stadium was deafening. Then silence. Pietri turned the wrong way. Officials shouted. He collapsed. They helped him up. He collapsed again and again. Arthur Conan Doyle was in the stands. He wrote that Pietri had gone to the extreme of human endurance. Officials dragged him across the line. Winner. Moments later, American Johnny Hayes finished under his own power. The Americans protested. Pietri had received assistance, he must be disqualified. Hayes took gold. Pietri took nothing. Except that's not quite true. The next day, Queen Alexandra gave Pietri a gilded silver cup. Conan Doyle raised enough money to open a bakery in his hometown. Pietri became the most famous athlete on earth. Not for winning, but for how he lost. The 1908 Olympics were chaos: protests, boycotts, disqualifications, diplomatic incidents. But because of these games, races are run in lanes. International judges replaced host nation officials. The IAAF was founded. The marathon distance was standardised, and because of a sermon at St Paul's during these games, we have the Olympic Creed. The important thing is not the triumph, but the fight. The 1908 Olympics broke everything and built the games we know today.